again. And we are live, sort of. Right. So, I guess might as well fly a little bit and get fighting a little before I sort of start speaking too much about what is going on or what am I doing even. Probably crashing, that's the first thing first. Yeah.
Yeah, watch the trees.
Oh my god, my piloting skills don't really apply well from Elite. Even there, I'm not that great. Oh boy. Oh boy. Right. Well, I'm getting fucked, sort of. Okay. Might as well start on a little introduction. So, what am I doing today? Guys, perhaps... Actually, no. First things first, I guess introducing you two fellas. So, perhaps... you wanna do it yourselves, or should I, sort of?
Yeah, I would appreciate an introduction by you very much. Please, go ahead.
Okie dokie. So, first things first, I guess, yeah, let's start with the big black crap. That'd be the guy that previously spoke, I guess. I don't know anything about you, sorry. So maybe you can tell people what you are and what you do.
I'm the Black Carp. I'm originally the Red Carp, and then the Koinor. I'm like old school Planetside, probably playing this since 5 years now, and I've seen it all the good and the bad. Yannick's channel being really amateurish shit, and still being really alright. But then the Flutty Man, the great Vanu leader, who actually made me defect from the TR side, who freed me from slavery on the NC side one day. I must admit that. Yes, Flutty took me over into his wings. He has many wings, that's why he goes called like Flutty, you know, fluttering around like a bird. So anyway, yeah, we joined Dick, and Sanjay is one of us, and he's the other guy who's here with me tonight to join Yannick's in this little nice, funny chat. And yeah, we hope to entertain you a little bit while building a huge fucking base. So Sanjay, please tell the world who you are.
I am Sam, aka Samjay, aka Samej, aka Orbit, and I've played Planetside 2 the same since beta. A lot has changed, and I used to play this game a lot, and I used to platoon leads with Dig, which is the outfit that's organised this today for many years, not so much recently.
Okay, well, I guess you're being a little bit modest there, Orbit. Well, that's how I know you, more or less, by your work on the YouTubes. Okay, just yet another content creator that did Planetside stuff back in the day. Actually, what was the last video you did? How long ago?
Oh my god, I don't even know. Like, I think like 6 months, or maybe even a year. I've really taken a big break this past year because I haven't really been playing Planetside much, and that's like my main thing on my channel.
I see. Alright, so, yeah, let's see, but, yeah, so, first things first. Now, I am not part of Dig outfit, I'm just a invited person, if you will, and, yeah, what I want to do is, more or less, I guess, celebrate something interesting in Planetside alongside my enlightened brothers and sisters, sort of, if you will. So, I guess, the question is, why are you guys organizing this whole big base building?
Because Vanu smiles upon us every day and every week of the year.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't really got a better answer than that. I think
just because we
short
can.
Answer is maybe like because we can, because it's fun, because we haven't had a big event in a while. But I mean, like, if you want my like in character explanation. It's to send TR a message, you know.
Ah, I see. So basically, yeah, we don't care about NC. Screw them. Just TR and Vanu. Yep.
NCs, they're always great to play with. They're a great bunch of guys with many contacts in NC. Hence, us building this base next to them so we can have some good fights.
No, I mean, I agree completely. I mean, you know, just sending the message to dicks of Planetside, aka Terrans, you know, just up yours, I guess. So fuck it. Yeah, I approve personally. Yes. Who needs TR really?
I like TR guns.
Well, okay, yes, Daka Daka can be fun sometime, but well, Pew Pew and Spandex is always more, so more fabulous, don't you think? Well, at least that's me, of course. Right, while I go and search for some Cortium, probably far away, and explode while doing something along those lines. Let's see. Well, just as a little random rambling little thing, maybe you can share some of your perhaps your first experiences, or rather back when you joined DIG, or well, the egg. How did you join and why? I mean, okay, yeah, fine. Carp already kind of answered that, so I guess Orbit.
Sure. I joined actually Dig back in beta. Back then, it wasn't actually called Dig. It was known as Lawwood's Outfits. Lawwood's was this, as far as I know, he was like a 13-year-old kid who decided to randomly invite a load of people one day.
I see.
He didn't even have a microphone. He just led with waypoints and text, which is kind of what you'd expect.
Back in the day, you had only one waypoint, by the way.
That's one waypoint. It was placed by a 13-year-old who couldn't speak to.
Yep.
It was a great outfit. Like he developed a reputation as a rage quitter because like every time anything went wrong, he would be out. He would rage quit immediately. It was a lot of fun to play with. And back then, someone who played in beta, I can't remember his beta name, but actually he changed his name when he came over to post beta, when the game actually supposedly quote unquote launched, and he changed his name to Dignity, and he made Dignity of War, and I recognised his voice, and I was like, yeah, I'll join up with those guys because there's nothing else quite like Dig. It's the biggest outfit in all the Planetside back in the day. It was
currently for a while KOTV was the biggest.
Oh yeah, Woodman, huh?
Was it?
Yeah.
Remember we lapped
Good old Woodman.
Woodman, yeah!
Totally. We had real man and real outfit making Woodman. It was all different, I'd say. But then along came the Miller thing, and I was absent during that time. Otherwise, it might have been different. Probably would have been.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Dig now became the bigger ones in KOTV. I remember KOTV too. Yeah, chicken curry and so on. They dropped the crown like mad shits. Yeah, really crazy. Back then I was still an NC slave, and that was the time when I finally saw the TR freedom, finally finding it in a republic. But no way, no. The real enlightenment, the light of wisdom, science, and the truth, the real truth you can only find on Vanusa. That's why I'm here.
And a lot of spandex.
Yeah, of course, the spandex and tentacles and all that. Orgies.
Yeah,
it's awesome. You should really join Vanu, everybody.
Indeed, yes, we need more Vanu. Just everyone, you know, Vanu. Because there's nothing better. I mean, do you really want to be some sort of oppressive little duck of cunt, or just a brain-dead shotgun slave thing, I guess?
Yeah, see, the slaves by a war, actually, you know, like they were miners, and then the war broke out, and their bosses wanted soldiers, so here, you got a gun, and you either fight or you die. That's slavery,
rebels, but
eyes.
okay, fair enough.
And that's why they also were screaming freedom, you know, they don't have it yet. But that's why we are Vanu, we are here, we are here to enlighten them and to help them find the freedom they search.
I see. Now that I think of it, actually, yeah, KOTV and DIG both had relatively similar upbringings, if you will. Because you know, KOTV wasn't called KOTV back in the day. It was F3K. And then, let's see, we got to a point, I think we didn't quite get to the biggest outfit title, but I think it was not even the first year and we changed the name, and yeah, we rapidly grew, and in the Woodman times we were the biggest, and then when unfortunately we lost the Miller Slabs.
Gods were really close to KOTV.
Yeah, Gods were NC outfit, another huge outfit I remember, yes, and they were, well, they were our rivals when it came to numbers and so on and so forth, but they didn't quite have the personality of Chicken Crease or Mad Almog. Oh yes. Still, let's see, then the server merge happened, and yeah, Vanu gained basically the two biggest outfits for Vanu on one server, so, you know, kind of a power struggle, I suppose, for a while was going on, but yeah, due to multitude of reasons, well, KOTV's in the spot it is right now, and, well, you guys are doing something like this. Yeah. Kinda envious here, but, you know, that's just me being, you know, representing my own outfit here a little bit. Still, yeah, throughout these 5 years now, just a little interesting topic, I suppose. What's your favorite, well, memory with the outfit? Well, at least as much as you have. Hello?
Favorite? Yeah, Samjay, go first. But...
Oh no, you go first, please.
Yeah, well, I'm not in the outfit as long as Samjay is. He's in the since, I don't know, forever. I just joined them like 3 years or 4 years, 3 years ago. What can I say? I mean, there's not just like one favorite moment. I might have like one favorite moment ever in Planetside, and that was actually on Seaside. And it was when TR and Vanu bonded together and made like a pact to crush NC into Northern Gate.
I remember, yeah.
And that was like mad. We were just like preparing and preparing. We had like only one base left in front of the warp gate, and then they were slowly coming, and we had this battle line. All outfits, everybody from NC was there. Flares and smoke grenades marking the defensive spots. And it's this desert-like area, you know, like rocks and everything. And well, yeah, we are standing there like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, Defenders of Gondor or some shit. And then the Horde came, and all the dust settled. And I don't know, it was really mad, you know, like in a movie, epic shit. Then the horizon was full of enemies, and they all came crashing down on us. It was an epic fight. Really good, I think it was good for each side, basically. We held strong, we survived, and they had to retreat in the end. It was really epic, man.
So yeah, basically, two other factions became total dicks against Vanu. Yeah, I still remember that time, personally. Being on the receiving end of that particular barrage
yeah, it was
yeah, fighting on Vanu's side, being constantly fucked by just NC and TR both at the same time instead of fighting each other. Yeah.
The platoon need your help on the platoon weapon, guys.
Yeah, I think the double teaming happens quite often actually in this game, but this moment was actually like a double team where the whole server bonded around one tiny little base in the north of India, so it was yeah, like really mad. Like everybody was there, everybody, and this was great. Not just like a double team
just
here and
ended. 300s.
Ooh. What?
Nice event, guys.
Okay. Right. But being on the receiving end, I still remember my platoon leaders and just the lead on at least KOTV's side. Just fighting against these two fucking factions. I mean, okay, fine. At the time, we were basically half the faction at least. And yeah. controlling quite a lot of that sort of influence, I suppose, when it comes to player base, and yeah, it was interesting. I mean, yeah, we could coordinate, that's for sure, but yeah, unfortunately, you can't really fight against big masses of just meat shield for long, at least. I remember at least my leaders just raging, or maybe not raging, rather just simply being really annoyed and constantly just bitching about the fact that you guys are being unfair and just being total dicks. Still.
Yeah, everybody does that. That's like the favorite pastime of a Planetside player. Bitching
Right?
about the other factions being mean and cruel and unfair.
Yeah, certainly. The 3-faction system not always works out like you would think. Still, it was still good fights and whatnot else. So yeah, it was kind of boring constantly steamrolling everyone. So yeah, it was interesting to see that spite and pettiness from NC and TR come out as basically a peace pact between you two, and or well, them two rather, and yeah, just fighting against just because, you know, oh, you want to be dicks and basically drop on bases and get them immediately? Oh, we can do that about the same, just differently. Sure, okay. Oh well. Yeah, but I don't want to drive over this guy. In any case, yeah, overall, this far looking just... Fuck it, I perhaps should just simply build some stuff for the time being. So you say the event is gonna be taking, what, 2 hours, right? So...
I guess, like, technically speaking, I think it just ended.
Say what? Did I miss it? What the hell?
Oh! I said that.
Okay,
I
maybe...
mean,
yeah, okay, fair enough.
it was okay until 300 survived, then everything changed.
Well, whatever the case is, fuck it, I'll be playing for at least an hour and just, fuck it, have some nice battles and whatnot else, just enjoying a little bit of basing and playing and whatnot else. Overall, I presume you guys also organize like annual sort of anniversary. So what did you do last year and year before that, if you still remember?
Don't actually really do much on anniversary. I remember this time last year we did have something called the Olympics, or like Olympics or something like that.
Oh god.
We basically had a bunch of events, like you had to lance a moving flash, or you had to climb a spire at the warp gate faster than anyone else, things like that. And we handed out a few Daybreak Cash, or whatever they're called now, cards.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
I think last year was the first anniversary that... Last year was the it was the first one we actually celebrated other than this one.
Huh. Interesting, because... Well, okay, yeah, this is a bit different. Of course, KOTV being the best fucking outfit out there. But no, seriously though, let's see. The first anniversary for us... if I remember correctly, we even managed to get the observer camera that I managed to use, and we did several interesting things, a couple of races, a couple of runs, and but what mostly sticks in my mind, at least, was basically disco in general. Just picking up lashers and just shooting at once. I remember the first time I saw that. I used that clip multiple times in my couple of videos, and yeah. First of all, the fact that it, first of all, because it's great because it lagged the whole server for a sec. Well, at least the area of the server quite a bit. The good old performance of this game. Yay!
Oh, by the way, Yannick, you were on Woodman, right?
Yes, I was in the Woodman. I was in the...
guys.
You know?
Did you experience that event, I think Tucked from Gods organized? That it was like galaxies, every faction brought some galaxies, and then we had like a huge knife melee fight on top of the galaxies. which were like, yeah, boarding parties on ships, but in the
I
sky.
see, yes.
And
Something
eventually,
like that.
of course, people fell down and couldn't spawn in the galaxies anymore. Of course, I think back then you couldn't even spawn in the galaxies. And then
Yeah,
the
you
meeting on the
could,
ground
yeah.
broke out and everything went to shits and everybody killed each other. But for a few moments, everybody was kind of peacefully just knifing each other. It was a great moment.
Of course, yeah. I do still remember it. Yeah. There have been so many times this sort of thing was done on galaxies and so on and so forth that, you know, sort of missing exactly which one I was part of, because there have been thus far, it is 5 years at least, so many. Fucking hell. So yeah, well, the Planetside and memories of it. Yes.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, how many games do you have where players
Yeah.
actually are able to organize stuff like that, and it kind of works out usually, and everybody has some fun, and it's interesting to see.
Indeed, indeed. And that's in a way it's the saddest thing about Planetside as well, because well, you look at the Planetside, it being, you know, this one of a kind FPS, and well, just not being either recognized or just not getting to the level you personally would, you know, kind of want it to be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just have too many expectations of it, but I don't know. Just I had so much fun just playing it and, you know, meeting people that I don't know. It's that one horse that I'll keep beating forever, I guess. Oh well.
Definitely could have been done better. I don't think anyone out there would say Planetside is the perfect implementation of this model.
Oh no.
No, they're not. Definitely
No.
not. The devs made lots and lots of mistakes during their lifetime of Planetside, and they still do lots and lots of shit. Or not just the devs, the owners of the IP and all. But the game by itself, it's absolutely a rarity. It's completely an individual. It's different from all the other games. It's really, it offers everything I find nice in a game, while still being shit in many ways. But it's still the best game I ever played, really. Might sound like advertisement or something, what it is. I mean, but many games over the years.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's
well,
like an
I wouldn't
FPS,
quite
it's
say
an
it's the
RPG.
best. Yeah, it's certainly notable and what it does for a lot of things, especially for the fact that, well, I tend to just boast about this constantly, but we did break a world record with this game after all. You know, how many games can actually claim something like that?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not about like, oh yeah, for one time they had this battle where 1,000 people actually fought against each other at the same time or something. It's like Planetside is all the time like that. It's like the most massive FPS action thing there ever was, and you have strategy in it, you have base building in it now, and I don't know, you have everything you kind of find in other games. You might not have it in a perfect way, but you have it in an acceptable way. Like, it's well balanced.
Well balanced, well, yeah, some people would disagree, and it's fair enough, I guess. But overall, yeah, there are no outstanding issues when it comes to balance of the game. Although implants are pay to win, say what you will, at least I'm calling it pay to win. So yeah, well, what can I say? There are issues, certainly. There are issues.
Yeah, there are lots of issues, but I think you mean a different kind of balance. So no, I mean you're talking about like weapons being different for different factions, and one is stronger than the other one or something.
Yeah.
I'm more like thinking like it offers a really nice balance between all the different kinds of gameplay I personally at least fancy. It's like you have this mission stuff where you go like an infiltrator and you have to hack terminals and shit, spawn a Sunday. You have the FPS action stuff where you can go in like in a Quake or Doom or something. And then you have the stuff where you can fly an airplane like in a jet simulator, and then you can be a strategist like in a Command and Conquer game or something.
Oh yes.
Whatever you like. You have so much different aspects of this game that kind of have a good harmony really, compared to other games I've played. That's what I mean. And in regards to
Yeah.
this pay to win, I don't know. I mean, sure, the implants are kind of, yeah, it's fucked up that it even exists. So I'm personally, in my opinion, all those boxes that you can open randomly and pay or buy with cash, that's gambling in my eyes and should be
It
regulated.
is.
That is my
It
opinion,
certainly is.
especially if you market it to kids. That's shit. So
Get
I'm
into the
against
whole
that
loot box thing.
by nature. But otherwise, it's really a fair game. I mean, I spent money
that's
on
the
the game, but
thing.
it's
That's
for
the thing.
camos to look fancy. I never bought a gun or anything, so I don't. No, I
Yeah,
don't
back in
see
the
really that you need
day,
to.
back in the day we didn't have implants, so this game was built at least as a, you know, okay, it was a free-to-play model, and fair enough, it worked as a free-to-play model. But of course later on, you know, implants, though at the time they were, well, let's just be modest and say it was poorly implemented. Way of loot box, but it was still a loot box nonetheless, and that was what, 2015 if I remember correctly, or wait, no, it was the end of the 2014 when they put in the implants. I made a video about it. I mean, for fuck's sakes, how could I not remember that? Just a couple of months ago I did that. Anyways, oh wait, no, not a month, even fucking weeks. Jesus, my memory is bad. Anyways, then again, you know, I don't focus on that too much. But as a free-to-play game, well, yeah, you can pick up and play it. It brings a lot of problems with it, but yeah, there have been plenty of sort of comparisons with how Warframe rejuvenated itself completely from, you know, whatever level it was, thanks to a multitude of things, but even so, yeah. Whether or not Planetside could ever do that, I don't know.
I think Warframe was like an example of a bad game, and the devs made really good decisions. And Planetside is just exactly the opposite. We had a good game, and we have very poor decisions made by the devs, and that's where we are.
All right. Just for the lols, I suppose. What's the poorest or worst decision the devs in your mind have made?
My snap reaction is pumpkin alerts, but I know that's nowhere near up there.
Oh god.
Back in the day, the pumpkins, I just have such pumpkin PTSD from like alerts back in the day. They were the only meta. They were the only reason you really play to win. That was it. You couldn't lock continents, you had alerts, and that was it. Primetime alerts was as meta as it got. And then the devs, they come along and they say, you know what, you're not fighting for territory anymore, you're fighting for who can kill the most bleeding pumpkins.
Yeah.
Sitting around continents, they killed the meta overnight.
It's just that boneheaded move that also kind of surprised me. I was like, what? Why? Okay, fine. I guess if it's festive, but
festive.
Just why?
But, you know, give people pumpkin hats. Don't kill the only meta in your game.
Yeah. It was interesting. Carp, how about you? What's the worst thing in your mind that has come out of Planetside as an update or feature?
I really have a hard time thinking of the worst, to be honest.
So many, you know.
Which doesn't mean there wasn't.
Okay, the first that you can kind of remember as a really bad one, then, if you can't exactly recall one specific one.
PTSD for me is pumpkins too, because I actually fucking hunted those things until I got
I
the
did too.
rainbow skull helmet. So it means I killed like, I don't know, 1,000 pumpkins or more. Every vegan in the world, probably I can never ever have a vegan girlfriend again. I'll always have those traumatic feelings that I'm kind of hurting her or hurted her. No, I don't know, let's not talk about pumpkins, please.
I started really short. So
Is it possible?
Like, the worst long-term decision that was made in this game was the continued lack of development for of leadership. Any sort of leadership tools, any support for leadership of more than 48 players.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Now, it actually brings us to, well, current day promise, if you will. Now, I personally see the leadership thing very skeptical. Damn it. Anyways, yeah, so I approach pretty much anything the devs from this game say about anything.
How much Cortium do we still need?
But, yeah, see, when it comes to leadership, you know, announcing leadership after 5 years, oh, we're gonna, you know, really work on it right now. I was thinking back to myself, just, it's a bit late, don't you think? It's like 2 years at least, too late. But okay, if the thing is, leadership thing, well, I keep playing partly the game because I made videos back in the day about the game, so obviously, you know, I jump in, play a bit and make a video about it and blah 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 blah. And partly it was due to really the people rather than the game features, game itself, because overall it's a mediocre shooter in my view. It's very mediocre, and yeah, the fact that you can have, you know, that amount, well, that scale, that amount of players in just one map, one fight, and so on and so forth, that was sort of the thing that attracted me, and especially charismatic platoon leaders was the main thing that attracted me. So, technically, if people are active enough and encouraged to lead, well, who knows where this game could go. Maybe it could even get what, you know, Warframe, half of what Warframe could, well, accomplish. Who knows? But the cynic side of me is constantly saying that, yep, that's gonna be yet another thing that just gonna be added. It's nice to have, but it's not gonna do much. Unfortunately, that's my realistic sort of take on it. So I don't know. I'm just being pessimist, I guess, here.
It might be a bit late, it's true. I mean, there's lots and lots of stuff that could actually improve about Planetside still and kind of rejuvenate it, maybe. Like, obviously it needs an engine upgrade at some point in the future, so it might stay, graphic-wise nice and all. But the leadership thing, that's one of the biggest problems. You have a large-scale game, they need to coordinate lots and lots of people. And obviously they did it right that they have squads with like 12 people inside a squad, and they have platoons with 49, 46 or whatever it is. Those are good numbers, you know. A squad leader, he knows his 12 people and he can coordinate them, attack position, have like special stuff like with a Valkyrie airdrop or some shit going. And a platoon leader, he knows like his squad leaders and roughly knows the people in his platoon. Like, for example, all platoon leaders in Dig, they all... That's a big problem in Dig, for example, like always finding a good platoon leader, because we always need one. And Planetside did it quite well, but the problem still remains, you know. You need to find a platoon leader who's willing to coordinate 94 or 49 people, maybe even more platoons if he is like a battalion commander, more or less.
Yeah.
It's not rewarded at all, and he doesn't even have the tools to properly do it. I mean, it might be as hard in real time, I don't know, in the army, so I can't really comment on that. But there needs to be more stuff. Like, I need to be able to do airdrops like in Battlefield, or an artillery strike, or I need to be able to put markers on the map that even a fucking noob who doesn't understand English understands to follow, you know. It's a wonder, all those people who lead platoons, I'm really impressed by them. They stand up, they kind of coordinate a bunch of people, some of them don't even speak English as a mother tongue or something, and they're still able to, to motivate and coordinate a bunch of people they never met in their life and might not understand them, often enough. There's a few tools Planetside offers, but it's not enough, and it never has been enough, and it needs upgrades for sure. That's, yeah, I agree on that point, but it might be too late too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's see, there was... Oh, yeah, there's...
I repeat, start redeploying.
We got our tanks.
Let's see, we have some platoon orders. Ah, I see, okay. Right, so, yeah, there's the typical sort of issue with outfits like mine or yours being constantly called Zerg fits. The whole idea of, you know, calling a platoon, not platoon, but rather an outfit, compilation of, you know, players and what else, a Zerg fit. To give some, I suppose, insight as to what a Zerg fit is constituted in at least Planetside 2, well, perspective, from its perspective, it's basically... Actually, now that I think of it, the fucking word itself has so many meanings for so many people, it's just stupid sometimes. But the general sense is that it's just a big outfit with a lot of people that, you know, just sort of steamrolls perhaps, or just fights in big numbers in some place. So some people say that it's mindless, you know, led platoons just point A to point B or whatnot else, or it's actually coordinated outfit that, you know, drops and moves and so on and so forth. So let's just say it's just a big outfit that sort of goes and fights in places. So how do you guys approach, you know, being called Zergfrit? Because let's be honest, you do, we did in KOTV a lot. So I'm expecting the same about for you. Maybe I'm wrong.
How do you approach people like that, really? Cause like, people say all the time, like, you show up to base and they're like, oh, you're zerging and stuff like that, but really, I'd say two things. First of all, like, smaller outfits zerg far more than larger outfits ever do, and that's just because they're in no way organized. They always like zerg surf and stuff like that, but like large outfits, if they decide that a fight isn't going anywhere, they can pull like 90% of the population out of that fight. They have control of the population. And that's in my mind the end of the argument. Like, if you're in a small outfit, you're just on a lane for hours and hours. Like, you can leave, but the Zerg's still gonna be there. Of the Zerg. And the other thing, oh yeah, also the people that say it come back, it's not like have a logical discussion with these people. Even it's like, hey, you're sitting looking at a spawn room. Well, yeah, you know what? Some of the best fun I've had in this game has been when I'm 80 to 20% looking at a spawn room.
For me, well, at least back when I led platoons, when I started playing the game, oddly, yeah, it was, yeah, just platoon leader spends literally 90% of the time just looking at the map. There you go. That's pure and simple. So yeah.
Yeah, Zerg fits in this game do not exist, in my opinion. Zergs are kind of, you have like a hive beam and you have an unorganized, non-thinking, unsentient beings following like a command. And yeah, it would be nice if Planetside would work like that and the platoon leaders would have a really easy time leading platoons suddenly. But it's not like that. You have like a bunch of sentient individuals who all run around the battlefield or are busy shooting some guy, and you kind of have to hammer into their brain that they have to go to another base and defend it.
We're lifting off. I repeat, the new platoon
So,
waypoint.
I don't know, Zerg fits, how do you approach somebody who accuses you of Zerg fitting? I don't know, I would say they don't really understand.
I think like almost all of the hate, it doesn't come from the casual player base. Like, whenever you see someone crying about zerging, it's usually someone that's in a 1 to 30 man outfit. And I just don't get those players, like, even to start with. Like, why would you come into Planetside, which is all about epic numbers, epic battles, epic moments, and you then join a CSGO outfit where you're like constantly trying to fight 12v12, and like to you 12v12 is the epitome of a perfect fight. And if anyone brings anyone else, they are ruining that fight.
Yeah, I love that actually. Here's a little, I suppose, slice of life from my end. Back in Woodman times even, and then of course early Miller merge times. Oh shit! Great idea, jumping out of a moving site. Yep. Anyways, so yeah, I remember back in the day we were the biggest outfit in the Woodman, and we literally just steamrolled everyone. It was like we have the platoon, we have another platoon, we have the, you know, coordinator, you know, a person that just coordinates both platoons and where they go and what they do, and we had, you know, people that talked with, you know, players and said, you know, okay, we got the base, we got the A point, now let's regroup in big mass, overwhelm the enemy quickly, just take the point and hold it until we get the base, and that's it. Move on to the next things before they can respawn. And people just constantly said, oh, you're ruining fights, you're ruining the game, blah, 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 blah. But that's the power of, you know, the massive, well, army that you could control. And I saw that idea of the game in a part way there, because with big enough numbers, you can just simply, with proper coordination, you don't need skill. That was the best part about the game. The whole skill to, you know, mass ratio. Okay, fine. You're a pro player. You can, you know, maybe kill 3 to 4 enemies, you know, before you go down yourself. Okay, fine. Still, a platoon will overwhelm a single squad defending a room. Doesn't matter, you know, how good you are, really. It's just, there you go. You can hold it off for a while, but the overwhelming number, just no. It's simply not gonna happen. And yeah, the fact that we, well, and you probably too, just managed to just go around and sort of steamroll everyone and get the messages, oh, but we had such a good battle, blah, 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 blah. You know, farming. Okay, so are you telling me that elitists now just want to farm instead of have good battles? If you want a good battle, then bring your own crowd. Come on.
I'm not quite sure. I completely agree with what you're saying. I mean, I've been on all 3 factions basically for equally long time. It was all quite fun, but every faction had the same people that said, "Oh, circuit, or you're ruining a fight," or whatever. But you have to imagine it's not just like a little tiny fight. We're not playing like for half an hour or something, and then we're going off. It's like the platoon leaders. Some of us, or some of our big platoon leaders, they really went like full-time job, like 7 hours a day or something, and leading platoons in their off time and shit. Yeah, man.
That's a little excessive.
Yeah, but look, I mean, players like, I mean, I'm not naming anybody now, but we had players who really had like trouble and problems in their life after all by leading platoons and all. And it's not just like for, as I said, for half an hour where you have one little fight around the base where you can say, oh, you're ruining a fight. You have this platoon leader, he's constantly keeping 46 people happy and entertained. Maybe even more if he's leading 2 or 3 platoons. And not just the same 46 people, they come and they go and they leave. The platoon leaders usually stay the longest, because they feel there's devotion and there's responsibility for all the players. And yeah, they move the fight on, and they see it on a bigger scale too. Like, you have not just like this base and where we have to take A point, no, we have like the end of the lane. It's down southwest of the map somewhere. Like in 2 hours we'll be there and we'll take that base. You have to think like that, and it's a completely different game in my opinion. There's people that complain about Zergfits, they don't play the same game. They play like a Counter-Strike or something where you have a tiny little map.
They're used to that whole, oh, it's fair numbers, and but this game is more or less just an open world sort of a thing, because you know, you don't have the one specific map loaded with, you know, a specific bunch of people. It's just you come and go whenever you want, so, and you go wherever you want as well. It doesn't matter. You're not restricted, really, at least. You know. It's
not like single matches that you have to load. And
there's that's also a downfall of the game as well. In a way. There's no. There's no that win state. I mean, you can view it as a good thing. I view it as a bad thing because, well, there's no point in, you know, just fighting in that way. Just no point in fighting if, you know, there's no real end to it at the end, sort of, if you will.
Oh, you have to find your fight, I think. That's the thing. You don't like join a match and then you're out of the fight. You have to look on the map in a world that's evolving and changing constantly to find that fight that you really like and want. Do you want to die in a tiny little fight 1 against 12? No problem. Or do you want to like a big fight? No problem. You can even, like, if you have a tactical squad, that's what I'm always saying. Don't be like, oh, they're immune circuit. Just roll alongside us, be like a tactical special commando squad that goes ahead and put down mines or deploy Sunderer in a good position, so you have a stream of people coming from there that can control and direct the fight and so on. You can be really tactical and Delta Force-like in this game, man. You can be a super commando operator here. You just have to, like, want it and not complain too much, you know? A Marine makes do, he doesn't, like, fucking complain, from what I hear.
Yep. And immediately get run over right about now. What? Am I playing NC now? Come on, Mano. But yeah, let's see. Well, we're building a base there, so...
I'm not sure what we're doing right now, to be honest, though.
Actually, now that I think of it, this sort of a middle of the... Well, yeah, we're building a base in middle of NC... Terran territory. It kind of reminds me, yeah, the old warp gate. How are they called? Warp gate camps, I suppose. Yeah.
Camps, yes.
Oh my god. Was fun, eh? You fly out with your nice new shiny side and boom, get just gunned down by a squad of Terrans. Just nope. Not your day, buddy. Not your day.
It's the TR warp gate. I'll camp that all day long.
Sure, yeah. Oh boy. No deploy. Oh god damn it. Come on, no deploy zone. There we go. Right, so where are you guys fighting?
And now just west of Crossroads Watchtower.
Ah, same here.
Okay, I'm there, yes. Well, time to build some more stuff, in that case. I do wonder when will Terrans, probably Terrans, come and crush us. If they come and crush us. Oh well. Where was my...
Like, come even if the event's over. I mean, Boo Baker, who's the main TR leader on the Miller, has two favourite things. One, he likes to hijack platoons, and two, he also loves to destroy bases.
Oh yeah, back when the base building was released, I remember, yeah, people were just simply dropping on... wait, did they really destroy my fucking Cortium silo? Dicks! Oh, that's a dick move. Oh well. And yeah, well, frame rate is 20 frames. Yeah, perhaps I shouldn't film in, or rather stream in this sort of
That's
resolution.
what you get for streaming, recording, and playing.
Well, I'm not recording, but fuck it, screw it. Everything's fine. Terminal's restricted, great. Great. Oh.
More ways so you can build them up.
Well, let's see. I might as well then spawn an ant and get some Cortium instead. Yeah, well...
Grab a drink, grab it.
God damn it!
Oh wait, no, I can actually hack something and get the vehicle that way. Yeah. Why did I... Okay, I think I'm... Never mind. Fucking lags and glitches and whatnot else. By the way, did you guys take part in the record-breaking thing?
I did not. I wanted to, but I was working on it.
I see.
It's a shame because I know someone who helps organise it. He took part in it because he handled some API data or something. That he got a proper proper certificates put on his wall, and he
I got one too, by the way. Everyone who participated and was registered was able to put in a code, you know, given to you, and for something like I think it was 40 euros, order it, and yeah, I did certainly.
Alright guys, I'm going to look for Cordium. I need
Oh,
only
yeah.
Yeah, I would
one
like
gunner.
to be able to do that, and I took part in massive record-breaking smash. I'd like to put that in my CV for sure.
Oh, I was in this one game where 1,000 other lunatics just took part in masochistic lag fest, essentially. Oh gods, I still remember, yeah, that event. The server was full. It was Jaeger, aka the decommissioned server for testing and scrims and things like that. And oh my god, I'm getting killed by fucking... Never mind, I guess. Yeah, and the funnest part was that obviously that is American server, you know, their server. Anyways, and yeah, my frame rate was kind of bad already, and the what was it, 500 millisecond ping didn't really help much either. So you can kind of imagine battles that happened there. So yeah, record breaking, but kind of shit in overall. Oh well. Still, record's a record.
It's a record. We should be proud, damn it. The one good things that actually has come out of this game, I think.
The record, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like no one can.
I'd say so, until some other game breaks it. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing. I was kind of thinking, you know, the first year, okay, the record's broken. Maybe we can do it the next year, or maybe on the 5-year anniversary, something like that. And no. The performance is what it is. Server capacity still hasn't really changed, unfortunately, and you know. But yeah, overall, it was just sad to see, and at least my part, back when the whole record was broken, that they didn't really promote this thing. And you know, it's a good PR piece, but nope, I guess not really worth it, is it now?
You see, like, some of the biggest fights in history happen in EVE, where like the most like monetary damage is done in all of gaming's history. That stuff makes it to the front page of the BBC. Planetside,
and Planetside, what we got with Planetside, we had the opportunity to get somewhere, but well, okay, fine. Some gaming out, you know, review sites or things like that did make a couple of, you know, posts about it, I guess, but it was so down low. It's just kind of sad, to be honest. And that's the thing. Now that I play, you know, Elite Dangerous and what else, a while ago there was this alien thing reveal, and just that little cinematic thing even managed to get a big attention from, you know, gaming communities all over the place. But that wasn't even anything that super what else. And for a long time I still think that, you know, Planetside still could make some waves, I guess, but no. I guess PR's just what it is. I mean, it's a free-to-play game. I don't know, is it worth, you know, advertising? Well, yes, it is worth advertising, because, for example, look at World of Tanks right about now. It's still being advertised. I still, you know, go to porn sites and what else. I see the ads there. and that's no joke, by the way. You can see such ads in porn sites there too.
I've seen them on Facebook, but
yeah,
not so much on sites, but
no, okay, that was a bit, I guess, a little bit for comedic effect, but still.
But they could still promote it more, at least.
They should,
do, you know, it's definitely, but it's really just the direction of the company is completely crazy. Since I sold it, it's even gotten worse, in my opinion. I mean, just look at the PS4 launch, yeah? I mean, the game was ready and just waiting for the PS4 to come out so it could be on the PS4. And it basically was ready since launch, and on PC it's free to play, no problem. I just download it and play it, and since I've seen the trailer,
I wouldn't say that
awesome.
On PS4 it was quite ready.
Yeah, PS4 it's like, it costs like, not much, it costs like $2 or something.
No, the issue was more or less to do with the whole performance. That's why
maybe that too.
That's why the OMFG thing happened.
I just seen my friends try to download it and they were like, "Oh, $2." I don't have $2 on my PS4 at the moment. I got no money on it, so I don't download it, and I will never see it, never play it. You know. But in the meantime, they played other shit games that definitely look worse, and they could all have been playing Planetside too. It would have been a good game for launch time on the PlayStation 4, pre-installed, something like that. You know, they could just have been struck a deal with Sony. to do that, for example.
Well, Sony
Isn't it?
tends to be a bitch sometimes, so...
Yeah, but they didn't have a game that was ready when the PlayStation
Yeah,
was
I guess
released,
so.
you know, and they were like, oh, we don't have games and it's shit, sales are crumbling and all because we don't have games. They would have had Planetside ready and everybody would have laughed at it and seen, wow, PlayStation 4 finally can have massive battles. Now I want every game to be like Planetside. This would, for example, have been a great chance, I think.
And we unlock the silo, please.
Indeed. Well, yeah. It's interesting
Well,
how
that's
much a little bit of exposure can do, you know. And the thing is, there are some really good aspects in the game that could potentially just make headlines themselves. Especially the whole record was one such thing. But these days, just yeah, we're struggling, and no one really seems to be willing to take charge. It seems to do such a thing. Even the odd developer stream seems to be, well, you know. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, this whole Rel thing, in my opinion, Medley feels kind of unprofessional for a gaming company. He's like streaming stuff, and he's, I don't know what he is actually. Is he developing it all by himself, or are there actually other people still doing stuff? And why is he posting stuff before it gets released or is ready for release? Like, maybe even some stuff that's really not that great and all. Or for example, this newest edition that you can't deploy a Thunderer as a defender in your own base anymore. It completely changes the game. You can't defend the base since this 2 patches ago or whatever it was. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, when it comes down to specific people in the company, I abstain from commenting from anything. I usually just go for the whole team as a one entity, and then for obvious professional reasons and so on and so forth. But yeah, well, what they are doing right now, they're trying. I mean, with the budget and team they have, they're trying, and yet that's the thing. I can name plenty of small quality of life improvements that are really not that hard to program or make. You could put in game throughout these 5 years. People that have been present for that time, wink wink nudge nudge to some individuals, you can easily see what the game is sort of missing here and there, and making some good quality life improvements here and there just adds to the whole good feel for the whole game. Because here's the thing, in any game I like to just see some good things and, well, alleviating things, ease of use, updates and so on and so forth, to just make the game quality wise better. But for what it is right now, we're gonna get what new Empire specific weapons, which is okay. Yeah, I asked for more Empire specific stuff, but see, there are some other things that also kind of need addressing before pumping out more stuff. I'm not really sure whether or not a lot of people buy this stuff. I don't have the data, so I guess if they are if they are just pumping out these things, then I guess someone is buying. And whale hunting is a thing for free-to-play games, and especially fucking loot box stuff as well. So, oh well, this goes into another negative thing, but well, I don't know. But yeah, when it comes to the game's quality, there certainly can be a lot of things that can be done to improve it. That much is certain. That much is certain. So, actually, that's a pretty good question. What would you two guys like to see the most being changed, at least? Let's just say in the near 3 months? Closest 3 months?
That's a good question.
Yeah, 3 months you can't really. You can do some stuff, of course. As I said, many small changes could be implemented.
I'm going to use
Like They could definitely add some
nice
leadership
one
stuff,
waypoint.
like more XP for
It's gonna
leaders
be
or
another
some
achievement.
rewards,
First, I
so the
need
leadership becomes
4
more easy
infiltrators
and
on the
simple to
workgate.
use, more
I
tools.
repeat,
Maybe even
4
like
infiltrators
on the Q button that a
in the
little
workgate.
circle in the middle of the screen comes up as options and commands that I can use as a platoon leader or whatever. So I don't have to fiddle through menus and the map and all that shit. And make the map more beautiful, please. This would be really nice, but the most important thing for this game at the moment, in my opinion, is promotion and management. So they can really set targets, what is important, what to do next, what do the long-time players think would be important, what do we think would be actually good for a game, good gameplay, and not just what they want and all and so on. And yeah, find more players to play this game, of course. I mean, at the moment we have too many players actually for the server capacity. Sometimes it lags out, but at the same time we don't have enough players to fill, I don't know, all continents with 3,000 players or even more servers. And in my opinion, the game could make more money. It looks graphics-wise quite nice, even though they could implement more models in the long term. So like, buy somewhere, hire some guys to make new models for all that shit. Like I can't be walking through the same fucking building 5 million times. I mean,
Yeah,
probably
that's
all
that's
three did
another
it.
thing
But
that's kind
yeah,
of shitty. Just constant generic reuse of the same model. We're all sick of just, you know, the same structure type and same thing over and over again. And of course I've complained about this myself plenty of time, of course. And yeah, well, when it comes down to graphics, well, the bottom line is the engine this game is running on is really old. So yeah, it realistically needs to be basically redone pretty much fully to actually run, you know, the most modern stuff, I suppose. So yeah, for that money no one has in the company, at least I don't think. So yeah, we're gonna have to do with what we have until either someone else buys out this thing, invests more stuff in it, or, well, as I said, yeah, basically, yeah, just needs funds to create a new engine and hopefully increase the capacity, and who knows, maybe after like 12 years, you know, today, sometime in the future, we're gonna get Planetside 3. Maybe, who knows.
I
But
don't think
until
it's
then,
gonna
yeah.
happen anymore. But
Yeah. It's actually a miracle that Planetside 2 was created in general, because Planetside 1, as interesting and so on and so forth it was, it first of all was subscription-based sort of a game, looking really terrible for the time, even then, because, you know, it's 2003, and at the same time, something like Half-Life 2 comes out. Yeah, Planetside 1 just no. Graphically, it wasn't nowhere near the best one. Neither it was in feature-wise, and well, although Planetside 2 has at least adopted proper FPS mechanics and things that FPS games tend to do, it's just performance-wise and technology-wise, yeah, it's missing a bit.
I don't know. I mean, it still looks quite pretty if you turn it on to ultra and activate those particles.
Yeah, and kill your
It's still
PC,
like
basically.
a fucking fairy tale and all. And the
I mean,
horizon,
currently,
like,
right
looks
now,
great
I'm
sometimes.
let's see, let me just quickly check what I'm running. I'm running, well, relatively high on the texture side, but everything else is somewhat low. So I don't know, it's a mix of things for some frames, but even so, I'm still running currently I'm running 18 frames, something like that. Give me a sec. On the screen, probably some will be able to see on the left corner there, the fucking counter. Jesus. Yeah, it is what it is. What can I say,
Yeah, well, it could get an upgrade, that's for sure. There's better technology out there now. And
it simply needs a
those
complete
shaders better
rework,
than
in my
graphic cards offer,
opinion.
and everything
there's
12
no
or whatever.
saving the mess. Like Planetside 2 it's done this extremely rare thing where since the game's release, the graphics have got considerably worse. Like, if you play this game in beta was absolutely beautiful. It has physics, it has like really dark nights, it has really amazing tracer fire, like you could light up the sky with tracer. It was brilliant. Like you could shoot off hills, you could think like it was amazing. It really was amazing. You really like had to see some videos of it to understand. But since then it's gotten worse and worse over the years. They've taken out physics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
had that the other day. I was looking through old screenshots was made, and we all were like, "Whoa, what this Planetside? This is how we were playing on my old computer? No way! It looks really beautiful. I don't know why. Probably the
There are
shaders
some
somehow or something like that.
neat looks certainly in the game. Now a little, I guess, background on what happened with physics, what happened with graphics. So first things first, physics. It's NVIDIA special, basically. NVIDIA technology that is implemented, you know, through their graphics card, rendered through graphics card and accelerated whatnot else. Basically just giving extra particles with, I think it was no or little cost to performance and whatnot else. And yeah, sure, those particles did look good, but as it happens, I think devs last time said that it simply caused some sort of, you know, glitches, bugs, and shit like that. So
causing like server-side issues. I think that was the problem.
yeah,
It wasn't just client-side.
so.
It was causing server crashes. It was causing like server physics, like on vehicles when they're destroyed. I think the Vex were doing weird things that they couldn't fix. Pretty much, it's not coming back. They disabled it after like 6 months, and it's been 4.5 years.
Yep.
I think
it's not coming back, and I don't really want it to really come back because
it to come back. It looks amazing, man.
It looked good, but the thing is, it's NVIDIA special thing, so people with AMD, you know, don't really get that, or Radeon cards, they don't really get that. So that's the issue. It's sort of exclusive thing that I don't particularly want, because it's just it's like, you know, PS4 only focused development, and you know, no, it's not that great of an idea now, is it? So yeah, but as for graphical looks, yeah, there have been multiple downgrades of the game texture-wise. I still remember.
Just like in general art direction, this game, like when it launched and in beta, it had a lot more gritty feel, and we've got a more and more cartoony over the years. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but like
it's become perhaps more cartoony because it has more color to the game, as they added, you know, to distinguish each faction. I think more or less that's what.
Flaming skull helmets and pink Thunderers.
Well, yeah, cosmetics. Yeah, well, that, yeah, yeah. What can I say? There's no excuse for it. It's just simply typical free-to-play mentality. Pump the fucking thing full of cosmetics and hope it sells.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That's the stuff I spend my money on in Planetside. I
don't
buy a gun, I buy cool hats and shit. That's the best.
The best fucking thing ever, or the most ridiculous fucking thing ever, was for a stealth class to get a Lumifiber. A thing, armor type that glows in dark. For a stealth class. How stupid is that? Literally. Fuck me. To this day, I still can't believe that they added something as stupid as that. Still, yeah.
Well, you still look fancy. That's
you look
cool.
fabulous. I know.
For example, on the V menu, you know, those voice calls you can make. What do you use the most? I personally definitely use most the number 6, which is taunt. So you kill somebody, you turn on the Lumifiber, then you taunt him, you do a teabagging, and then you move on. That's how you kill a TR.
I mean, yeah, okay, it's a game, and yeah, sure, but that's the weirdest thing. Devs sort of make this big war, massive thing, and what it devolves into is just basically cosmetic wars. Oh well. That's the thing. That's the issue with the art style in general. You know, you have to pump the thing full of cosmetics or something like that for players to buy and what else. But
Yeah, but that way you can
yeah.
totally avoid the advertisement trap or the pay-to-win
Not
trap
only
or
that,
anything. And
it's
Planetside did quite well, in my opinion, in that regard. They made quite a lot of money with that kind of game and what they put into it.
it's
Just with
fair enough,
cosmetics,
sure.
you know.
But
I really like
the
that.
issue with pumping a game full of cosmetics again is the fact that it's simply well doesn't really make for a good overall aesthetic for a game, because you have so many different sort of decals, looks, armors, and so on and so forth. They don't gel well together. That's the issue. The overall art style gets diluted in this "ooh, look, it's fancy" thing, basically, and it's basically it's just like
I understand your point in regards to some of this stuff. That's for sure, especially since Player Studio came out and all. But and you should have a really tight art direction for faction stuff, especially. But I don't think, especially Planetside with its not really well maintained graphics or models and textures and all that, should really have
that.
that
Yes.
at the moment, and it's not too bad actually. It's quite well balanced. They have those rules for Player Studio 2, and the shapes, for example, they kind of fit the factions. You have the cowboy head, of course it looks silly, but it fits the fucking NC, you know. So yeah, but TR the same. They got this strange, crazy Russian commander major head. I don't know what it is, and looks
Yeah,
great.
the awesome hat. I know everyone loves it.
I think I would have just preferred advertisement. Let's just cut to the chase.
Yeah,
Let's
me
put posters in the
too.
game. That's
Put in more money to advertise
billboards,
people, but yeah, okay, fine. This
movies.
is typical free-to-play game, and this is how free-to-play games essentially, well, what they devolve into. It's just pumping the game full of some non-pay-to-win cosmetics and things that they can potentially sell, and that's a typical thing. Another thing that usually free-to-play games often, bring is tons and tons upon tons of grind, and to earn money they basically offer XP boosts, which this game does, but oddly XP doesn't particularly get sold that much, and it's not that important, I suppose. So yeah, bigger income is coming really from cosmetics. So
Yeah, well, I personally don't see it as a big problem. I'm kind of like the kind of guy who used mods since Counter-Strike was still
Yeah, fair
only
enough.
LAN, only network cable stuff. And I actually make mods myself. So if you're playing Skyrim, for example, download Jace's Swords. It's the best sword mod you will ever download.
Of course.
And
Still, the point is rather there is still risk of diluting, and then making your just art style or overall art impact of the game just really off-putting. Everyone's running around with these shiny things. Everything's glowing. Everything's shiny. Well, just
yeah, what's the worst thing
sensory
that the game
overload,
has at the
basically.
moment? What would you say is like the worst stylistic feature of the game?
Too much glowing stuff, I'd say. That'd be the first thing. And also well, yeah, there's that typical thing about hero shooters. Every hero has its own sort of a shape, and so it's easy to distinguish them. But when it comes down to these three factions, they don't really look differently from afar. They're just, a man in the distance rather than being a beefy fuck like Max is. Maxes you can more or less distinguish
true.
from each other, but a typical soldier, no, especially when it comes to Infiltrator. It's hard to distinguish between three factions unless you're really up close. And that's that first impact, and well, I wouldn't want, a specific super different shape, but as Overwatch, as Paladins, as any other hero shooter has proven, a shape of a, character is rather important because, it's easier for us to distinguish and quickly shoot and just enjoy it that way. Oh well, but yeah, then again, there's also, camos that are available between factions, which is, in my opinion, a pretty bad thing.
Yeah, but
Although,
since you're talking about shapes, and you're playing Vanu, what would you, for example, do about the Vanu? I mean, he's still a human and then piece of armor.
yeah, that's
So what would you change about the armor? Like them huge shoulder pads, like in the 80s or something? I don't know.
I'd say Vanu ought to be a bit, well, the sleekest design, the most, yeah, the most, well, skinny design, because, you know, we have these nano armor things, and we can, you know, we don't need as much armor as, for example, NC, that ought to be the most bulky, just strapping all sorts of metal, you know, on their shoulders and crotches and other places, yeah? And that's the thing. I'd say that Vanu, even, you know, to this day, sort of look more skinny, or at least try to look more skinny than other two factions, and NC ought to be the big bulky thing, and TR perhaps ought to have more militaristic look, you know, that plainer, simpler, or maybe just specific headgear or something. I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'm not much of an art guy, sorry.
The helmets look quite different already, and the basic shape of the armor, but I kind of agree with that. Maybe that would go well with some kind of faction traits, like the Vanu would be like a little bit more agile and better in sneaking or something, and
that's another thing
have,
that I hate
don't know,
about the game.
ammo packs on their armor all the time, and ammo belts or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Most
like
weapons, most weapons in this game are just simply copies of each other. Even Empire-specific weaponry is just a relative copy of each other. For NC, they buff a little bit, you know, the damage. For TR, they buff a little bit of fire rate, and Vanu are just in the middle. And that's how they build every weapon. You know, you don't see Empire-specific weaponry like, you know, the Empire-specific rifles. Those are completely different, although Trap is not a real sniper rifle, but okay, that's for another time. The point is, you don't really have these, well, quite different, looking not, but quite different working weaponry, or differently sort of made weaponry. It's always the same thing. You have one type of weapon, like SMG, and you have 3 versions of it. Basically, just increasing one stat or another in some way. You don't really have often, you know, these weapons that differ in the way they work, the way they feel, and whatnot else. Of course, you can change weapons to a certain degree only, and that's the thing. I agree that, you know, what you're gonna do for every weapon for Vanu, just have, you know, I don't know, what was it, the heat mechanic, right? Have that on all the weapons, it would get kind of old, and, you know, having something...
but I get that, I like it.
There's
I mean,
a need
for
for
example,
bigger
like
faction specific stuff. That's the point, more or less.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of like one would be a perfect example. You could give them all the energy stuff, like energy discs they can throw, energy whips, and stuff like that.
They are future. Come on, science fiction. There's so much to fantasize about. Come on. Are you telling me that you are so, you know, artistically or, I don't know, imaginatively bankrupt that you can't think of something fascinating or outlandish for Vanu? And, you know, okay, for TR you kind of have to go with that typical military stuff, but for NC you can use that, you know, reuse, make machinery and things like it. But now, well, it is what it is. I mean, okay, now they are doing some new weapons, but even those are just one base model, and then on that base model you just cram different end or some other little props, and you got another weapon. And that's what I've always hated. Not that many different weapon designs. Always it's some sort of a modular piece. That's, I don't know, maybe I just want variety, a lot more variety. Oh well, maybe I'm just asking too much. Still, overall, I mean, the game is what it is, and I guess I've been bitching a little bit too much about the game itself. After all, today is Dig's anniversary, so I presume for the last 8 minutes or so of the stream, let's focus on your outfit. maybe there's something specific you want to mention to viewers at home and other people, or maybe just those two guys watching. You know, who knows?
Really,
All right, so go.
we don't really like need to advertise or anything.
Well, you can do
Keep
that.
playing
I
on
mean,
Minute,
why
you
not?
already know who we are. Let's be honest.
All right. Well, okay. So the typical question you get probably is, how do you join? Right?
How do you join? Well, I mean, you play in any. Well, if you play VS on Minute, you will get an invite at some point. Just accept it. Let it happen.
Oh, I can't say.
But if you would like to join, like, ask any dig member for an invite, so he'll invite you.
Okie dokie. Well, fair enough. So yeah, just come join, no requisites. Simple as that.
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
don't resist
hop
it.
on.
If you want to find enlightenment, join dig.
Like, we have a Discord, which is effectively used as our website these days, which is at discord.me/dig if you want to join. A lot of people from Miller has it's kind of like the secondary Miller Discord at this point. See, like, if you play in game on Miller, you know who we are. Like, and you let me tell you, whoever you are, you're welcome to join.
So everyone's welcome. That's great.
Everyone as well.
That's wonderful. So yeah.
Pretty much anyone who has the ability to click yes on an invite is welcome.
And yeah, when it comes down to Planetside, I highly recommend either my own outfit or dig. Well, today, since it's your anniversary, I'm not gonna, you know, badger people to, you know, check my own. I say just join a big outfit, join their Discord, TeamSpeak, whatever else they have, and talk with people, or just listen. And not only you're gonna hear good things, but you're gonna also hear about something like donkey porn in the evening or something like that, because that was a staple of KOTV. So yeah, just saying, we were up to some weird shit at the evenings. I don't know about you fellas, might be a bit different.
Can neither confirm
Welcome to
nor deny
Wano.
the existence of donkey porn.
Yes, I guess welcome to Wano. So yeah, isn't that something? Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see. So I presume the whole thing is still going to a point and whatnot else. So might as well fight a little bit and yeah,
Just
I
about
guess
to
and on that. From the chat, sorry chat for not reading you too much. Oh fuck. Yeah, I was preoccupied at, you know, talking and whatnot else. Anyways, what's my outfit? KOTV, Miller's KOTV, and well, today we are talking about you know, Miller's own DIG, aka the biggest outfit. Are you actually biggest outfit in Planetside currently? Or
I'll be honest, I have no idea, but 90% of the game's existence, we have been the biggest outfit.
Alright, fair enough. Well, you know, you kind of became the biggest in the last, what, 2.5 years when KOTV kind of sort of disappeared. Just saying, you know, being biased here. But okay, fair enough, yes. It's respectable size and so on and so forth. It's interesting, you know.
Just look at it from this side of it. I mean, I'm coming from Woodman too, and I remember you KOTV guys dropping on the crown and shit, and all fights.
Yes.
And you were mad, and we were large, and you were big, and gods back then was kind of like, yeah, come on, we can fight them, and we were quite equal and shit. We were slightly bigger, but after the minute merge, really, and I was like all the time getting zerged on the TR side. I decided to join Wano just for a little bit to like hang around and learn what's going on, how it's working, and it was simply dig. Really, since then, sometimes you see a little KTV squad, sometimes maybe even a platoon. I don't know, maybe your platoons are close or something. But what I see are dig platoons every day, every time of the day. There's a dig platoon running most of the time, at least. Or Miller, maybe 2, maybe 3, sometimes maybe even 4. You know, there's always a Dig platoon. K2V sometimes, and they're cool, and I like to run next to them or together with them. It's great to have one of them as a squad leader or whatever. And yeah, I'm proud of that legacy, more or less, that you brought over from Woodman to Miller. But we have to say, Dick is really, it's the Wanu side. If you want to fight with Wanu, you have to fight with Dick, and that's fair enough. And we like to fight with you, so let's cooperate and destroy the enemy. And feel free to join Dick at any moment, or KFTV, as you just said. They're a great outfit, they have a long history, and it's really great there.
Yeah, been 5 years, 5 fucking years of this game, and well, Dig 2, and actually KOTV is gonna celebrate the 5-year anniversary. What was it? Next April, I think. Yeah. So yeah, we're sort of younger technically, but yeah, the outfit that we were previously, that is a FVK, yeah, that existed a bit longer, I guess. But yeah, we weren't in the beta, that's for sure. So yeah, you still have bigger or deeper roots than we. So congratulations, and yeah, for the last basically statement, I suppose. Congratulations on 5 years. Just thanks for playing. Thanks for just being there, I guess. And yeah, and just well, Planetside wouldn't quite, well, at least Miller and Woodman and what else wouldn't be without people that are currently in both outfits, or just yours in general, I'd say, because you were in the Miller generally. That is Dig, you know. So yeah. It was fun, it was interesting talking and just sort of, again, beat a little bit of that dead horse that I love too, and yeah.
Let's game!
Yeah, so, any last words, fellas?
Yeah, definitely, man. Planetside, feel the love, join Planetside, join Manu, join Digo KTV, and thank you, Yannick, very much for making those videos. They really help promote the game too, I guess, and show many people how funny and entertaining it can be. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for the chat and for joining our little event. I don't know how well it went. We were here together with you in the chat and didn't really hear what was going on base building was. I was just sitting in the Sunday driving around, I guess. With somebody who, I don't even know who the driver was, or where it was, just shooting and stuff. It was really fun. Thank you, man.
Okie dokie. Orbit?
Yeah, just thanks Yamix for the videos. Thanks to the devs for doing the best they could for 5 years. Thanks for everyone who has ever joined Dig or ever platoon leaded in Dig especially. Thanks to NC for all the cooperation over the years. And thank you TR for all the kills.
Alright then. That'll be it.
Thanks, mate.